Alright, what up, home skillets? So, rather than take a screenshot of my mods list, which honestly won't be that much help to you, I'm going to read them out, because otherwise people will be like, oh, it's too small, I can't see it. So if I read them out, you'll know what they are, and I'll give you a tiny bit of knowledge and try and keep this brief on troubles that I ran into. So let's just go straight into this. Now, I have two different installers here. Before I even tell you, you want to make sure you download Oblivion Mod Manager. Don't use Nexus Mod Manager. Also download Oblivion Script Extender. I think the website is silverlock.org. Just Google Oblivion Nexus. You'll find all the mods there. And Google Oblivion Script Extender, OBSE. And as long as the website is something along the lines of silverlock.org, should be the first result. But again, I'm trying to make sure you don't get bloody keylog going to the wrong website or something. So you need Oblivion Script Extender for a lot of these mods. You need to use Oblivion Mod Manager, and for some of them you need to use Rybash. Not to be confused with Ryback. This is Rybash. W-R-Y-E space B-A-S-H. And Oblivion Mod Manager. Right, so we have in Oblivion Mod Manager Alive Waters, Alluring Potion Bottles, Alternate Start, which I currently have deactivated, Ancient Towers, Andragon, or Andragon, Weapon and Armor. I don't think that's exact. Just type in Andragon on the Oblivion Nexus, you'll find it. Anduril, Armory Lab, I'm using the old version. The new version was giving me issues. I think it's version 3 I'm using, something like that. Armory of the Dragon, Artifacts Guild. I don't think that mod's actually called Artifacts Guild. It's just called Artifacts or something like that. Again, typing Artifacts on Oblivion Nexus and you should find it. Better Dungeons, Book Jackets of Oblivion, Braville Sea Domes, Capes and Cloaks, Chadenhall Pet Shop, CM Partners, lots of mods require CM Partners, highly recommend it. Daedric Lord Armor, Dynafied UI, Devil May Cry Weapons, Dibella's Watch, Dread Knight Armor, and the weapon add-on for that. Elsewhere Anakina, don't know how you say that. Elva Map Redux, Engine Bug Fixes, Enhanced Hotkeys, Enhanced Water, Frostcrag Reborn. Make sure you back up your Frostcrag DLC files before you install that, because it will overwrite them. Frostmourne and Lich King Armor. Gates to Asgard Episode 1. Glenvar Castle, Harvest Flora, in brackets. Hoarfrost Castle, Ice and Wolf Elves. It's custom race things, some mods require that. Ivelen Keychain, currently not using it, was causing me crashes, so don't recommend it. Knights of the Nine Revelations, unless you can get it to work without crashing. Kavatru built, Less Annoying Magic Experience, I believe it's also called Lame. Loading Screens, I don't know what that mod's actually called, just type in Loading Screens on Oblivion Nexus, you should find it. Lumi Enchantment, Malevolent, Manamarca Resurrection, Mascar's Oblivion Overhaul, Midas Magic Companions, Mart's Monster Mod, Mountain Tower, Myths and Legends, Oblivion Reloaded, Oblivion Uncut, Order of the Dragon. Make sure you download the German version and then the English version. If you don't download them in that order, you will have the English version without all of the meshes and textures. So the German version contains all that stuff. And then override it with the English version, which will give you the English dialogue and text and all that. Quest Awards Leveler, Real Lava, Ren's Beauty Pack, lots of mods require that as well. Return of Shadows. One more quick tip I'm now remembering during editing was that I was having crashing on startup, and it seemed to be caused by Return of Shadows and the gardening plugin for the Armory Labs mod. Now, the old version of the Armory Labs has the gardening plugin. You can install Armory Labs or activate it after you started a new game, but if it, you know what I mean, like if the mods are active when you begin the game, it seems to cause issues. But once you begin the game, save the game without those two activated, then you seem to be able to activate them without any issues. Be aware again, though, that's the old version of Armory Labs. The new one doesn't have the gardening plugin. I think it's just a part of the mod in general or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so if you're having issues, try deactivating those two, and then you can reactivate them after you've saved the game. Ramuska Fantasy Store, Ruin Tal's Tale, Servant of the Dawn, Shivering Book Jackets, Tears of the Fiend, The Lost Spires, Tyrael Armor, Unofficial DLC Patch, Unique Landscapes, Unofficial Shivering Owls Patch, Vilja, Werewolf Legends of the North. Now we go over to Rybash. We have Better Cities. Install that with Rybash. If I installed something with Rybash, that means it didn't install properly with Oblivion Mod Manager. Install Better Cities pretty much last because there is a bunch of patches that it will know to install itself I don't know how. It's very clever. But yeah, install that last after you install your other stuff, and it should know which patches you need for the most part. Chaos Texture Pack. It's like a big version of it. There's like the oldest version, and then there was a newer one on the Nexus, which was all of it combined, so you didn't have to download it all separately. Mike's Clothes Replacer, Beaming Sun Glare. I wouldn't worry too much about the Sun Glare if you're using Oblivion Reloaded. By the way, Oblivion Reloaded will tank the fuck out of your FPS if you have, even with a good computer, to be honest. You also want to download, by the way, Oblivion Stutter Remover, and you want to download... Oh, it's like a 4 GB Oblivion extender, 4 GB extender, something like that, to make the game use 4 GB of RAM instead of 2. Anyway, high quality rugs, Order of the Dragon, Gates to Asgard Episode 2, Frostcrag Reborn De-Isolated, that's some kind of a patch for Frostcrag Reborn, Unique Landscapes Compatibility Patches. Once again, I highly recommend you install that last. Weather or Natural Unofficial Oblivion patch. Let's go back here for a second. Speaking of unique landscapes, you may notice, if you look over here on the left, I have unticked Coral Hinterlands and Beaches of Cyrodiil. Those two were causing me crashes. They were causing me crashes 6 years ago as well. There seems to be some issue with them, or at least with some of the mods that I use. So untick those, and you'll have a lot less crashy of an experience. I think that, for the most part, is everything. One little thing I will warn you of is that when you download the BSA file for Mart's Monster Mod, it will be called Mart's Monster Mod, martsmonstermod.bsa. If you're using Oscuros, you have to manually rename that BSA file yourself. You have to rename it to Mart's Monster Mod 4000.bsa. Just read the description page of Mart's Monster Mod, and it will tell you that. Like, there will be either a README file or it'll be on the mod page yourself. If you're installing a big mod like Oscuros or Mart's Monster Mod, for Christ's sakes, read the description. For the most part, you can get away with not reading the mod descriptions on the smaller mods, but on the big ones, just trust me, you're going to have real issues. I'm speaking from experience. Anyway, hopefully this helps. If you have a question, I'll do my best to answer it, but I am by no means an expert. One last thing, by the way. You can create a bashed patch with Rybash. And basically, you should have an option here somewhere that says, yeah, bash patch 0. So if you want to make that, once all the mods are installed, right-click this and click rebuild patch. And it will then essentially do its best to combine certain mods in certain ways. Like, you know, if they affect the leveled list, which a leveled list is, you know, what enemies can drop and stuff like that. So if you have multiple mods that change what enemies drop, sometimes they're going to conflict. This will make them less likely to conflict, but it's not really a guarantee. You also want to download, by the way, something called Loot. Loot stands for Load Order Optimization Tool, by the way. And with Loot, you can use it to sort the load order. It's pretty simple to use, but again, read the mod page. Should be on the Oblivion Nexus. So once you're done with all that, use Loot to optimize the load order. Load order will stop the mods from having issues, because certain mods need to be loaded near the top of the load order, certain mods need to be loaded near the bottom, etc., etc. So, good luck!